Oh, she froze right when we started.
Yeah. This is not the right time to tell you that this has been happening constantly. This has been happening constantly.
Since
Um,
we prepped.
yeah.
What did we do last time that like solved it?
Last time last time that this happened, I don't know if it solved it, but I restarted my computer.
Didn't work for a little while. Well, I mean, hopefully it gets better. How many windows do you have open right now?
No more than normal.
So 5.
First it was, oh, Elizabeth, you have too many windows open and they're all Google Chrome, and Google Chrome eats up your whatever, and you should switch to Firefox because that won't happen. And now it's just, oh, Elizabeth, how many windows do you have open? Because the Firefox thing is fake. It's fake,
It's
and I
not.
can't switch tabs. I can't move my tabs around in Firefox.
It's like Chrome is like a forest fire, but Firefox is like a house fire. They're both very dangerous, but one is much significantly worse than the other.
Well, I have fewer windows open actually right now than I would normally.
Okay. Well, let's keep our prayers for Liz going freezing. Oh my god. I am completely blown out. All right. Anyway, this is a pinfall podcast. You intro us.
Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I'm joined as always by my co-host, Marcus. I hope you all are having a fun Dynamite day.
This was a very fun Dynamite. Oh my god.
Yeah, this was a bop.
We had some killer stuff. Look, MJF had one of the best promos of his life. And like, he's one of the best promos in the game. And he just fucking nailed this.
I'm going to be really honest. MJF's promo actually like upset me to the point where the rest of the show I was like,
yeah,
feeling a little blue.
Like, I think David Bixenspan tweeted that no other promotion, no matter how big or small, could trust their wrestlers to pull off a promo like this. Only AEW could.
Yeah.
And Punk coming out, not saying anything on the mic, just asking him if it's true. Oh my god, it's perfect. MJF has to win now. He has to be Punk's first loss.
Yeah. Well, first honest loss.
First AEW. Oh yeah, MJF already beat him once. Or twice. Yeah, technically. Yeah. Man, that pulled some fucking strings. Man. We also had a great tag team battle royal, which got really good towards the end. Red Dragon came out on top, and they're added to the triple threat tag team match at Revolution. What else do we have? We had the debut of Penta Oscuro, featuring Alex Abrahantes Oscuro. In both of them together looks so cool. I mean, Alex looks like fucking Palpatine or the Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted. But Penta looks sick. But in that same match, we also had the debut of Buddy Matthews, who's siding with the House of Black. Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho actually had a really good promo. If you are looking at it as I think how it should be, with Jericho being a cocky son of a bitch heel or an egotistical heel. And Eddie obviously being the baby face. Eddie just decimated him. Ricky Starks versus Preston Dance, face of the Revolution ladder match. Jade Cargill versus the Bunny for the TBS title. And Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia for no reason. To teach him violence. And then we got announced Mox versus Danielson at Revolution. Very fun show.
Yes. And I'd love to talk about it. But I'm pretty sure... Do I get cut off when I freeze?
Your audio still goes. Most of the time.
Well,
as long if your internet doesn't cut out, you're still going.
I don't know if it's my internet. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I don't know. It could be a number of things.
It's me on the brink of losing my fucking mind. I think if there's one thing that will actually end up driving me insane, it's probably this.
Mm-hmm. Been going on for what, a year now?
This is the only time I ever have internet connection issues. Literally the only time. It's when I open up Discord. And it's not even when I open up Discord, because I've got Discord open all the time. It's literally just these video calls.
We should try a different software. Because there's...
Well, no, okay, how about this? It's just video calls for me.
Does it happen in Zoom
Wi-Fi
calls?
It happens in Zoom calls. It happens in Google calls. There have been calls, like today I got disconnected from a Zoom call. Like I can't actually, that's the other thing that annoys me about this that like actually makes me kind of crazy, is that this interferes with my professional life. Mm-hmm. In that like I dropped out of a call that I was supposed to be in today.
We should get you a desktop and get you like a hardwired.
Can I hardwire into my laptop?
You could. You'd have to get a USB hub though, or like a switcher. But if you bring your desk in here, we could have one switcher in here and then plug 2 Ethernet cords in there. And both of us would be working out of one switcher. Otherwise, we'd have to get a whole new long-ass Ethernet cable. Run it to the router.
Yeah, I almost prefer that.
Anyway.
Not the point.
We'll figure out our technical difficulties soon. You want to talk about the news?
Yeah, we can talk about the news. Got a lot of news today.
It's nothing I love more than a cup of coffee at like 10 p.m.
So my audio must cut out because you didn't respond to me just now.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the news.
I said we've got a lot of news.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
And you didn't freeze either.
I did freeze. On my side, I froze. On my side, you froze too.
Oh, maybe I just didn't notice.
All right. So I actually like had the time to organize my news and everything, so I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks to be blind though. Okay. So first things. Oh. I'm like working off of a laptop that's turned perpendicular to how I would normally work off of a laptop. So like scrolling is just a fucking hoo and a holler. First things first. Drake Maverick is back. He was released, but he is back now, and he is working on the WWE creative team as a writer and producer.
Man, they gotta relax with that man's career. Like, what the fuck? I feel so bad for him.
And they really are throwing the man around in like every fucking direction.
Hopefully he's actually in a place that he wants to be now.
Yeah.
And he prefers this over wrestling.
Yeah. I'm sure. Or at least I hope.
Yeah.
Also, some slightly WWE related news. Hit Row is staying together minus Swerve, because Swerve is going on to other pursuits. But Top Dollar, Ashante, the Adonis, and BFAB are all going to stick together. And they will be appearing at GCW's For the Culture in Dallas, Texas on April Fool's Day.
Yeah, that'll be a really good show. I'm really excited to see what Hit Row is like without Swerve. Because Swerve said that he's specifically not gonna be a part of Hit Row anymore, even though he loves those guys. But he says that he's gotten older, and he wants to explore his character solo and see how that character evolves and matures.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how that's gonna go.
Yeah. Especially if since he signed with AEW. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah. AJ Gray announced that Hit Row is going to be at the event. And I guess they're all going by AJ Francis, Brianna Brandy, and Tahuti Miles now instead of what they were originally known as, which makes sense.
They're still cool names. Brianna Brandy.
Yeah.
Is that her real name, Brianna Brandy?
It's her real, not WWE name. I can tell you that much.
Okay. Because if
I don't know what her real name is.
It's a very the alliteration makes it like a good character name. AJ Francis and Tahuti Miles are still good names.
Yeah.
It's like
also
Brianna Brandy and Shane Strickland are two really good alliteration names.
Yeah. Also, some GCW news. Some wrestlers are being announced for Bloodsport. I believe Mox was announced.
Oh, okay.
I think. I could be totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I may have just made that up. I literally can tell you because I'm on. Yeah, Mox was announced for Bloodsport 8, which is going to be March 31st. Because GCW is just taking over the fucking weekend, apparently. And then also Timothy Thatcher was announced for Bloodsport 8. He's back. I'm so excited.
Ooh.
I couldn't be more excited.
It'll be.
I'm so excited to see him back in the independent scene.
I think he'll absolutely kill it in GCW. He seems like the type where if he can be stiff, he's gonna be amazing.
I don't even know if he's just gonna be in GCW, but I mean he's been at Bloodsport. He's been there. He's done that.
Right.
So I'm excited to see where he's gonna go after this.
Yeah.
Because I know that we've talked about this, that there was kind of a concern that like he would just stick to coaching.
Yeah. It is good. Maybe he's like doing GCW to see if he likes wrestling still, which I totally get. You gotta like feel it out.
Or he's just back in it for real.
Yeah, he could be. But if he is back for real, it'd be very interesting to see where he signs. Somewhere like Impact would be a great place for him.
Honestly, I don't think that he's gonna sign anywhere.
You don't think so? He'll stay independent?
I think he might, because that's something that he's accustomed to.
Mm-hmm. I think he'd also be really good in Japan. I don't know if he's into traveling, but seeing him in New Japan would be so cool.
He lived in Germany for like the longest time. Like he used to spend like half his year in Germany. I would be shocked if he went back to Europe. I wouldn't be shocked if he
progress.
Well, wait, hang on. I think it's already been announced. And I've looked this is another thing that I've looked up 400 times. Let's see, cage match.
Are you searching New Japan Cup again?
No. I wanted to see if all of 16 Karat Gold was announced, but it has been. Because that I wouldn't have been shocked if he had shown up at, but not the point. With that said, let's move on. Because we've got some things to announce. Sort of. The Crockett Cup bracket for NWA has been announced. The bracket is as follows. The first seed is the NWA World Tag Team Champions La Rebellion. Then second seed is the Briscoes. Third seed is OGK. Fourth seed is Doug Williams and a mystery partner. Fifth seed is Strictly Business, which is Chris Adonis and Tom Latimer. Sixth seed is DePipe and Mims. 7th seed is Kratos and Aaron Stevens. 8th seed is The End, which is Pero and Odinson. 9th seed is Hawks Airy. 10th seed is Dirty Sexy Boys, which is JTG and Dirty Dango.
Love it.
11th seed.
I said love it.
7th seed is the Cardonas, which is Mike Knox and VSK, which is fucking hilarious, actually. 12th seed is Gold Rush with 3 H's, which is Jordan Clearwater and Marsh Rocket. 13th seed is the Ill Begotten. The representatives of the Ill Begotten have not been announced yet. 14th seed is the Fixers. 15th seed is TBD. And 16th seed is the winner of a 4-way match on night 1.
It'd be cool if TBD is FTR.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And also happening at the Crockett Cup is Matt Cardona is defending his title against Nick Aldis.
Ooh. Spicy, bringing it home.
Yeah. I hope Cardona hangs on to it because NWA desperately needs to hold on to a champion that's like actually over with the crowd.
Yeah. Also, MLW announced that they're going to have a new middleweight showcase match for the MLW Superfight card. And that is going to be Ikuro Kwan of Contra is taking on Cashflow Ken Broadway.
Okay.
And this will be on February 26th at the Grady Cole Center in Charlotte.
Ken Broadway.
I assume North Carolina.
Was Ken Broadway? No. Who fought Jay White at House of Glory?
I think it was Cashflow.
Cashflow, okay.
Which is Ken Broadway.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they're like two separate people or one person.
No, I think it's the same person.
Okay.
I just think that the poster announced him one way.
Oh, it's Cashflow.
As opposed to both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, CM Punk was announced as the final Ring of Honor Hall of Fame class inductee. He is joining the Briscoes, Bryan Danielson, and Samoa Joe.
That is a stacked Hall of Fame lineup.
It's a strong first year.
Yeah.
Other news, Freddie Prinze Jr. Wants to start his own wrestling promotion. He announced that he's tired of people nixing his ideas and wrestling shows that he doesn't enjoy, I guess.
Yes, give us more wrestling promotions.
He announced this on his podcast, Wrestling with Freddie. And you know what? He said, I don't want to compete with WWE or AEW. I just want to kind of have my own thing and have it on smaller channels, smaller networks, have it be a SAG show so that they're all Screen Actors Guild. That's what SAG stands for. Thanks, Freddie.
Dude, I love that. Like, let these creative minds just fucking go out there, make their own shit. Love it.
As long as they're safe and good about it.
I mean, yeah, he's worked in WWE for a while now, so he knows.
Yeah.
The more promotions, the better. It's so good. I love it. Even though I don't like Control Your Narrative and a lot of people in it, it's still great to see a lot of these promotions popping up.
It diversifies.
Yeah.
In news that is also a post or an ex WWE star doing something with their time, but on a completely different note, Paul White is going to star in and produce a new show about NFTs.
Is it the Go Big show? Go Big show?
No, apparently. Wait, no. Oh my God, I misunderstood.
What do you...
It's a live action NFT. It's not an NFT show, it's an NFT show.
Oh, okay. I've heard of those before.
What?
Yeah, it's basically like it's a short film or like an episode or something that is sold as an NFT. That was my first introduction to understanding what NFTs were, is it can be anything like a fucking short film or something. Who's producing it? Like, is it?
He is.
Oh, he is, not like AEW.
No.
Okay.
The series is going to be. It's called Gen Zeros. It's a live action NFT for purchase if you want to via the House of Kiba. I'm not going to fucking tell you where to find that. The series is set 200 years after an alien invasion has left the world devastated, with 10 factions fighting to control the future of humanity. That quote is from Wrestle Talk. Thank you, Wrestle Talk.
What?
Ironically, yeah, I don't know. Ironically, the White is going to play the role of Thatch, which I think is funny considering our Thatcher news.
All right. We should just film like you dancing in front of a green screen and call that an NFT.
Sure. We'll make some money.
We could sell that emo of me holding my feet up as an NFT. It's one of our emotes. If you subscribe, you can spread that emote wherever you want. Me holding my bare feet up.
Also, Angelico is going to make an announcement addressing his rumors regarding his career. Tomorrow he's going to.
Mm-hmm.
There is a good chance that maybe his contract is expired. Considering he has not been seen on TV since December 3rd. So. Let's talk about some Bullet Club news. If you weren't paying attention to the last couple of days, Tama Tonga is out of Bullet Club. Jay White fucking forsook his ass. Forsaked? Forsook. For the Good Brothers. Now, if that news isn't enough for you, don't worry, we've got more. Strong Style Evolved has some new matches. Those new matches are going to be Jay Lethal fighting Ren Narita. Mascara Dorada is going to be fighting TJP. And Jay White is going to continue his US of J Open Challenge. And also Swerve is going to face Blake Christian.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. That will be Saturday, March 20th in Florida.
Okay.
Also, NJPW Strong Mutiny was announced. That is going to be, you guessed it, in fucking Los Angeles, California, at the Hollywood, Vermont, because they just can't fucking escape there. And they'll never come back to the East Coast, I guess. That'll be April 10th. It's a Sunday. If you want tickets, go buy them. I don't know. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I'm so upset.
We don't own your life.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I can't tell you what to do. Last piece of news before I tell the worst joke known to man. Just everybody get excited. I wanted to save this for the end of the news just so we could transition. Hope everybody's like thrilled. Last piece of news is we have 48 people in the New Japan Cup bracket. If you wondered, maybe they'll bring in people from AEW. Maybe they'll bring in people from New Japan Strong. They didn't. The bracket is as follows: Okada, Despi, Wato, Toriano, Taichi, Tenzan, Nagata, Goto, Togo, Shima, Takamichinoku, Kanemaru, Tanahashi, Yo, Bad Luck Fale, Naito, Takahashi, Gedo, Makabe, Cobb, Kojima, Hanma, Yoshihashi, Fujita, Ibushi, Great-O-Khan, Ishimori, Oiwa, Zack Sabre Jr., Doki, Nakashima, Hinare, Sanada, Bushi, Will Ospreay, El Phantasmo, Ishii, Takagi, Tangaloa, Chase Owens, Jado, Tiger Mask, Taguchi, Evil, Tamatonga, Takahashi, Hiromu, Sho, and Minoru Suzuki, with Wado, Tenzan, Togo, Kanemaru, Fale, Gedo, Kojima, Fujita, Ishimori, Doki, Sanada, Phantasmo, Tangaloa, Tiger Mask, Tamatonga, and Minoru Suzuki all getting buys. A lot of people are kind of pissed about this. A lot of people think that's unnecessary. A lot of people think that Kota Ibushi is not ready to come back. And a lot of people are confused as to why certain people got buys and certain people didn't. Specifically, Kosei Fujita, because he is a young lion. And
yep.
It doesn't make any sense. Why did Gedo get a buy? Confusing.
Why are Despy and Okada fighting each other in the first round?
Well, Okada and Despy, Okada has to fight somebody. I guess what your point is being like the two champions should not have to fight each other, and that they should at least get a chance to last. Then that makes sense.
Yeah. You're knocking out a champion in the first round. That's kind of bullshit. One of your two singles champions. Like, come on.
And the way I see it, this just puts one person over the other, but it does suck.
Mm-hmm. Is that all the news we got?
Yeah.
All right. And before we get into the episode, just want to remind everyone, our weekend show will be between 3 shows. If you go to our Twitter at Pinfall Podcast, please cast your vote on what show you want us to cover for our weekend show. It could either be Terminus 2, GCW Welcome to the Heartbreak, GCW The Coldest Winter, or other. And leave a comment on the poll. It is pinned on our profile right now. So go vote in that and let us know what you want us to recap. There's some good shows happening. So let us know. All right.
Would you like to hear my horrible joke?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you call a violent sodium?
What?
Assault.
Is it too late to leave the podcast?
I told you it was my worst joke ever. Why did you believe me?
Oh my god. Miriam, thank you for the 50 bits.
Oh, they don't make them better than that. I thought of that. I wrote it down with all my news because I was like, I'm telling this joke. This is gonna happen.
Miriam asked what weekend show we're leaning towards.
What weekend shows do we have?
Did you not? I listed them off. Is Terminus 2, GCW Welcome to the Heartbreak, and GCW The Coldest Winter. I think I'm either leaning towards Terminus 2 or Welcome to the Heartbreak, because Welcome to the Heartbreak has X-Pac, but Terminus 2 has some really cool, like Santana and Gresham.
I think I'm just leaning towards Terminus because we already watched Terminus 1. It kind of feels like watching like a series.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But any of the 3 of them would be a lot of fun to watch. So cast your vote at Pinfall Podcast on Twitter. And now that joke is done, it's very funny.
Thank you. It seemed so mainstream, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
It seemed so mainstream.
Yeah,
I guess you could have niche
assault
jokes.
joke. I thought it was just fish in a barrel.
You mean low-hanging fruit?
Or that.
Alright, so let's get into the episode. We started off Dynamite with the Tag Team Battle Royal. I forget how many number teams were in it, but there were a lot.
There were more than I could handle. And that's why my first note was, this is a bit much. Because it was. So Reynolds is the first one eliminated. He gets eliminated by the Blade. Silver eliminates the Blade. Then Assboy 1 gets eliminated vis-a-vis Assboy 2. And then Santana, a fucking clown, eliminates Assboy 2. Butcher is then eliminated by Chuck... Sorry, got an itch. By Chuck Taylor. We then get a little soul food half and half to Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish and Kyle then eliminate Chuck Taylor. Mark Quinn is then eliminated, and so is Isaiah by John Silver. Isaiah is like eliminated, but he gets caught by Matt Hardy, who puts him back up on the apron, and then he gets pushed again, and Mark Quinn distracts Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy's not there to catch Isaiah. We then get 2.0 beating up Ortiz. They both get eliminated by Santana. Then the Young Bucks eliminate Ortiz. Then it's Bucks versus FTR for a little bit. Red Dragon attack FTR. Nick then saves Kyle, only to be eliminated by FTR. Then Matt seems to kind of be pissed about this. Looks like he's about to go for Cashy and Daxie, but he gets chop blocked by Santana. Trent, who's still in, nearly gets eliminated, but he gets picked up by OC, who carries him back to the apron, deposits him safely. Then Bobby Fish gets eliminated by Trent, and Tully tries to assist Cashy with the elimination of John Silver, but he eliminates Cashy instead. And then Cash kind of was like, I'm getting back in the ring. And the refs were like, no, you're fucking not. That's not how this works. Santana then nearly eliminates Trent. Then we get Santana and Trent on the apron. Then Kyle and Matt eliminate both of them. Matt Jackson, in case you're wondering, like, they're teaming up now. It's kind of a thing. Then Kyle's squaring off with Daxie. Matt Jackson is squaring off with Johnny. They spar for a little bit. Kyle tries to eliminate or brain Dax on the apron. And then what I guess is legal, but it shouldn't have been legal, Bobby Fish aids in the elimination of Dax.
Yeah.
By like punching him in the leg.
Kind of chop blocking him.
Yeah. Then John Silver suplexes both Kyle and Matt Jackson. John gets Kyle up on his shoulders. Matt super kicks Silver. And then Kyle lifts John up again. Matt super kicks John again. But Kyle can't like finish whatever move he was going for because his arm is like fucked. And then Matt Jackson sends out John Silver, and Kyle immediately sends Matt Jackson out right after that.
Yeah, and that sparks some tension later on. They're actually not later on, right now. The Bucks get in Red Dragon's face, but Hangman comes out and attacks Red Dragon. The Bucks don't help Red Dragon at all. They just watch. Then Adam Cole comes out, tries to super kick Paige, but Paige catches it and bashes him repeatedly. John Silver cannonballs onto Red Dragon, and then we get a buckshot lariat to Kyle. And Paige gets on the mic and he says, "Who's ready for story time with Adam Page, baby?" And you just hear Bobby Fish go, "No, that's his thing." Paige says Adam Cole became a world champion wherever he went, but as he could see the writing on the wall, he clamored back to his old friends and wanted the most precious prize in professional wrestling. And he kept his eyes on that prize, never realizing he was drawing closer and closer to a 6-foot hole in the ground. A revolution when he climbed into the ring and took one step closer to his grave, and the better Adam buried him in it. The only sound made is from a buckshot lariat, and that sound is boom. Middle finger to Adam Cole. And that ends that. And then we get a Bryan Danielson interview. He says, "I've been really impressed with Daniel Garcia. He's a younger version of me. I had a great mentor growing up. And he's hanging out with 2.0. Imagine if he was training with someone like me or Mox. I'm going to show him the difference tonight. But speaking of Mox, last week you said before we fight together, we need to bleed together. I'm going to give you that answer." And then MJF comes out. And boy, howdy, are we in for a ride with this promo. So he says, he's already like red in the eyes. He says, I used to love CM Punk too, and I get you guys want to boo me, just give me an opportunity here. CM Punk showed a photograph last week that for him was just another Friday. For me it wasn't, because it was easy to think I was raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. At one point in my life, the only reason I got up in the morning was because I love pro wrestling. I love AEW. That day meant more to me than just a Friday. Oh, Liz went entirely green. Oh, now you're flashing.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Ooh. What is it?
Ooh.
Your computer might be overheating. I think that's it.
Shouldn't be.
Is it loud?
No.
Okay.
The fan's going a little bit, but it's not like...
Okay. Where was I? That day meant more to me than just a Friday. 2007, I'm 11 years old. I've got a litany of learning disabilities, severe ADD. Every day in school for me was hell. But the one thing I was good at was football. I was one of the only 2 Jewish kids that tried out. I actually started as a middle linebacker. I thought I fit in. Then the next day at school, I see my teammates walk up to me. I think I'm going to make friends, but they look angry. In their hands, they're holding rolls of quarters. All of them decided to throw the quarters at me as hard as they could, and they said, "Pick it up, Jew boy, pick it up." I went home and cried. Then I realized today's Friday and I get to meet my hero, CM Punk. CM Punk, my hero, CM Punk, the best in the world. That day meant everything to me, and I made a promise to myself that I would be just like my hero, CM Punk. This ADD-riddled Jew boy was going to become the best in the world. December 2013, I've gotten stronger, faster, football scholarships out the wazoo, but all I just wanted to be is like my hero, CM Punk. I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I'm practicing promos in the mirror until my voice gets worse. Then January 2014, you leave me when I needed you most. You left me, all of us. That's when I realized if the best in the world can't do it, how could some ADD Jew boy? I went to college, quit on my dreams, and buried my dreams deep down. Until one day, and there's an account called The Wrestling Classic, and there's a photo of CM Punk shaking hands with Bryan Danielson, the same guy I believed in. I was livid. I packed my bags and made a promise that I was going to become the best in the world in spite of CM Punk. I made a promise that whenever an outcasted kid was watching me, I wasn't going to leave him high and dry, unlike CM Punk, you gutless coward. So you can whip me with the chain, make me bleed buckets, but I won't quit. If I quit, I'm no better than you, and that's not me. My name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it. CM Punk then comes out and doesn't say anything. He gets in the ring, no mic, and the camera, I love this, the camera made sure to get real tight on him so that they could hear. You just hear him say, "Is it true?" And MJF says, "It's true," and then leaves. Man. And that's the end of that promo.
Yeah, and that was a hell of a promo.
It gave a whole new perspective on what the feud means. It's not just MJF picking on the biggest wrestler in the world. It's MJF angry at his hero that he grew up idolizing, angry at him for abandoning him and wanting to grow bigger than he is.
Yeah. That promo really just fucked with me, I think, for like a hot minute.
And MJF was crying at the end. You could see tears rolling down his eyes.
Yeah. And I mean, I really thought in my head, I was like, maybe this is like, because MJF knows how to go beyond the pale.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is like something he's gonna do that, like,
maybe it's a work.
Like, obviously it wasn't, and that's, I can respect that. But at the time I was like, well, it's MJF. Like, he's done shit like this before. Like, maybe like this is going to be him making a promo where nobody can be nasty to him about it. And then he's going to turn it around somehow.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And like, my God. And I think that like, just because I've heard those stories in my family, that like kind of made me feel like, oh, like, okay, I can't fucking hate you. I can't fucking think that you're a heel now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It hit home, and he kudos to him. He's an incredible speaker, and it takes a lot of balls to get up in front of that many fucking wrestling fans of all people and tell a story like that. Like,
and CM Punk's reaction when he came out just felt so genuine too. And the fact that it was all off mic, that's one reason why I loved a little bit of, at least with NXT, when during the lockdown stuff, when there was like no crowd, you could hear those intimate moments when people weren't on mic. It felt very real. I think Kyle and Adam Cole had a lot of moments like that. And it just, and it adds so much complexity to MJF's character. Like, I don't know if this was him or this was, you know, a writer or something. I feel like this is just him. But it was amazing.
I mean, I've always really liked MJF. It's just super awesome to have young Jewish representation that's so vocal about it too. Because that's not something that I've ever seen personally. Like, yeah, there are Jewish wrestlers, but like half of MJF's character is that he's Jewish.
Yeah.
And I love that. Because you can like sit there and you're like, hey, there he is. You know? I've always loved that. I thought that this promo was really awesome. Because he drew attention to that. He drew attention to a lot of other stuff, and I think that he just knocked it out of the fucking park.
He did.
I don't know what this means for, I mean, not to tie every single fucking thing back to character. I don't know what this means for MJF going forward, because it's going to be really hard. I mean, I guess it's MJF. He can do whatever the fuck he wants at the end of the day.
I think where it goes is clear. He beats CM Punk at Revolution. Wardlow turns on him. And then MJF is back to being angry, heel, but just redirected.
Yeah.
This just showed that, you know, MJF has cracks. He has weak spots. And you could see that too after last week's promo. Like this is why I wanted to pick that for promo of the night, because you saw those cracks in MJF. You saw how much Punk's words affected him. Just in that moment. And the whole storyline, this is like one of the best stories I've ever seen in wrestling. It's just so brilliant. All right, so moving forward, we had an interview with 2.0, and just stark contrast. Jeff Parker says, the three of us walked through those doors together, but now you want to swoop in and be his mentor, Bryan Danielson. Matt Lee says, nobody gives a damn who you train. You want to taste, Bryan Danielson? Garcia says, I don't need a lesson in violence. Tonight, I'll teach you a lesson. Then we get Kings of the Black Throne versus Pac and Penta Oscuro. This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot.
Penta Oscuro looking cool as shit.
Yeah. Also, Alex Abrahante is looking
Evil.
interesting. Penta immediately flies out onto Malachi and Brody. Pac ends up getting this. This was more of a brawl than it was a tag team match, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The tags were not clear or concise. At one point, Malachi tagged in from literally the ringside area, and I was like, I don't think that's legal.
I think
sure.
I think Tony even said, like, this isn't gonna be a tag match. This is just gonna be a brawl.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, whatever. And then I was like, oh no, he's right. He's right. He had a point. So Pac gets driven into the corner. Brody gets in. Brody puts Pac into like. You saw this better than I did. You said that he put Pac into a torture rack on Penta and then chopped him so that Penta got Hurricane Rana'd by Pac. Or Poison Rana'd, mind you.
Was it Poison Rana'd?
Also, typing Malachi while trying to type fast, not easy.
Yeah.
Typed a lot of different names. None of them were Malachi.
You just type Black.
Yeah, but Malachi is more fun to type.
Mac.
Yep. Malachi then German suplex Pac and gets up on those little tippy toes, but it's still not a pin. We then get Anita Brody from Malachi because they miscommunicate and Pac dodges. Penta then crossbodies Brody. Pac sends Brody into Malachi, and after they try a Dante's Inferno on Penta, then we get a boot to Brody from Pac and then a second one. Pac then German suplexes Brody. And Penta gets in, and we get some double super kicks. Malachi tags in at this point. He goes for the miss, but Penta covers his mouth, rolls him up to win. Malachi's choking. Brody then just starts beating their asses. And then who comes out? Who fucking comes out? After Malachi attacks Alex and grabs a shovel, lights go out, and Buddy Matthews is here, as we should have expected. And Buddy Matthews is like being weird. He kind of like goes up to Malachi, like, oh. And then he turns and beats up Pac and Penta.
Yeah, Malachi and Buddy have a long history. And fun fact, I told you this before, but not on the podcast. When Alistair was doing his locked door promos in the main roster, there were two people that knocked on his door: Buddy Murphy and Cesaro. And it's very interesting that Buddy Murphy joins him. It would be interesting if we could see Cesaro doing that, but we won't see that for a very long time. But I mean, this kind of partnership has been in the works, feels like, for a long time. So to finally get it, it's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so then we get a video package for Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. And then we get the face-to-face between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. And Eddie Kingston laughs at the security being there. He's like, what is this? Jericho says, I arranged for security to be here because I want to talk like men. I don't want to act like street thugs. Eddie says, you don't even know what street thug means. In all honesty, I have no idea why we're doing this. I'm not a sports entertainer. I'd rather just fight you. Give me 2 women wrestling here, please. This is wrestling, not sports entertainment. Go down the block. I love that he's like, get Statlander, get Will Nightingale out here. It's so good. So great.
Yeah.
Jericho says, we are just down the road from Stanford, so let me give you some sports entertainment, but this will be actually interesting or entertaining. Kind of weak shot at WWE, but all right. When I heard you were coming to AEW, everyone was so excited. I was thinking, who the hell is Eddie Kingston? I never heard of you, but I've been following the indie scene. Not believable in the slightest that he's been following the indies and had never heard of Eddie Kingston. I thought they were talking about Eddie Edwards. Then I realized why I'd never heard of you. You look like a jobber. And then I saw your.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. He doesn't look like a jobber. Then I saw your match against what's his name, and I heard your promo, and I haven't heard of you, or I may have not heard of you, but I thought this guy is good. He's got what it takes to go to the top. I told you it wouldn't be long before you'd be a huge babyface in AEW. And you just hear Eddie go, "What's a babyface?"
Nobody tell Eddie Kingston that he's in a wrestling ring. Nobody tell him.
Yeah, Eddie's over here trying to keep up kayfabe, and Jericho's out here talking about like you could have been a babyface. You're scared to be over and shit like that. Like
literally, I think the funny thing too about this is that Jericho like fucking reversed this.
Mm-hmm.
Like he thought this through.
He wanted to get meta.
And you know that Eddie probably came out there and was just like, I'm just gonna say whatever fucking comes to mind.
I feel like it was like Eddie had material. Eddie had material. Jericho did too. But when Eddie came out throwing fists like he did in the beginning, Jericho had to step it up somehow. And in his mind, all he could think of was getting meta. Jericho says, after 20 years of busting your ass and getting over your physical and mental issues, you finally signed a contract with AEW at the age of 38 years old. Everybody was so happy for you, except me. I didn't give two shits about you. I realized you're jealous of Chris Jericho. You didn't make it to the big time until you were 38, but you realized I made it when I was 22. By the time I was 38, I main evented pay-per-views, traveled the world, and held multiple world championships. You're jealous of me. Deep down inside, you don't believe you can ever believe what I've achieved, and you don't think you could be at my level. Eddie says, what do you want? You want a cookie? Guess who doesn't care? The only reason you main evented and did all this is because I wasn't there. I don't leech off people. I'm not like the rest of the cornies that lie. I tell a promoter to F off. I'm gonna be me till I die. I gotta look at myself in the mirror. Now you're out here doing this. All you're doing is sucking my blood. My blood ain't Kool-Aid. I'd rather do things on my own. You know what, Chris? I want to fight. Me and you at the pay-per-view. And then Jericho says, I want to ask you a question. Have you heard of achievophobia? It's the fear of success. You're terrified to make it to the top. If you did, you'd fall off instantly to the other side, and you know it. You consider your destiny to be a failure. I know your family's history. Your first hero was your uncle, and he was a failure. You believe in your own father, and he was a failure. And deep down, you think you're a failure as well. You can't win the big one. In this company, I am the big one, not Mox, Danielson, or Hangman. Jericho is the big one. If you want to challenge me at Revolution, you got it. If you do manage to beat me, I swear to God, I will look you in the eye, shake your hand, and tell you you have my utmost respect. You got past your fear of success. Eddie says, let me give you a warning. We got the match. But don't give me the Jericho that did the mimosa match. Or that got pushed over off a cage by MJF. Give me the Jericho that poured buckets in Tennessee. Give me the Jericho that turned WCW upside down. Give me the Jericho that your close friend Levesque hated. Jericho said, I'm going to give you that Chris Jericho and so much more. You don't believe you can beat me. You don't believe you can win the big one. You are nothing more than a loser, and you always will be. Jericho had some good hits. But I think he definitely played up the I'm the well-achieved WWE wrestler. You're just some guy from the indies. He played that role well. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully Eddie winning that match. Jericho going in to shake his hand and Eddie just not accepting it.
I love Jericho being like, I'll shake your hand, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what makes you think Eddie wants that?
That's like, I love that because that's like a real, like, that's what a real egotistical dude would do, is he thinks that his handshake, his seal of approval, is worth so much when it doesn't mean shit. So then we go to a promo that doesn't make sense at all. We go to AHFO. So Matt Hardy says, you are bringing the TNT Championship to the AHFO, but are you going to tag Isaiah Cassidy in? Andrade says, I don't need anybody in my corner, but we are a company. Itch my back, and I'll itch yours. Matt Hardy says, how about we do this huge match, Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy versus Sammy, Darby, and Stink in a Tornado Trios match. I think that's happening next week. Because Rampage is Sammy versus Andrade. Alright, so then we get Ricky Starks versus Preston Vance. Face the Revolution qualifying match.
Yeah. I see what they did here. I see what they meant to do. I see it. I get it, Tony. I get it. We get some elbows. Some elbows. Some elbows to 10. I'm going to become a wrestler, and I'm just going to call my finisher the Hellbow. 10 grabs Ricky by the throat, tosses him into the corner, starts to pummel him. 10 then gets a full Nelson on Ricky, who won't let it get locked in, ends up getting hit with a discus lariat, still doesn't fucking sideline Ricky. Ricky ends up getting put into the full Nelson. It gets locked in. Ricky pulls at the mask of 10, and then I actually must have missed the finisher because I didn't write it down. Did you catch
it? It was just a spear.
Oh, yes, okay. He speared him right after Preston went to adjust his mask, because apparently the whole thing is that he turned the mask and kind of blinded Preston.
He tried to just take it off. That was it.
No. He tried to take it off, but then either JR or Tony, because I always fucking mix up their voices, said, oh, he turned the mask on Preston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't see that, but
I feel like that was them trying to argue, trying to just justify it. When in reality, I think Preston just didn't want his mask ripped off, even though his face is all over social media.
Yeah.
But we won't be getting that beef in the ladder match, unfortunately. How great would that have been? Had Preston Vance that beef. They could have booked the Butcher to be in next, and then Miro as a surprise entrant. So much beef.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad that they ended up switching the tide a little bit with me. I think that maybe Ricky wins it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, it's Wardlow.
Oh, yeah.
This is if they want to go down that route, which they've been heading down this entire time of Wardlow turning on MJF, he has to win this ladder match. Because then MJF would be like, all right, give me the ring or whatever. And MJF says, no, I don't want to. So then we get a promo with Red Dragon and Adam Cole. The Bucks walk in and they say, Red Dragon, that's a double cross. Kyle's like, you still got a chance. And Nick's like, yeah, we do have a chance next week. And now we're even more motivated. Kyle's like, yeah, I'm glad we could motivate you. The Bucks walk away. And Cole says, guys, for the love of God, I have a lot on my plate. You guys need to get along with them. And hopefully we get Jay White back next week or on Rampage. I want to continue that story. He's gotta be involved at Revolution. He has to be.
Honestly, and I'm not being a dick when I say this. Mm-hmm. I really don't like Jay in AEW right now, and just because the Bucks have so much going on, Adam has so much going on, Red Dragon has so much going on,
I don't know. I don't think
Jay's just adding a little too much to the pot right now, in my opinion.
What do the Bucks have going on besides stuff with Red Dragon?
The stuff with Red Dragon and Hangman.
Hangman's kind of more passive. They've kind of That's kind of just existing in the background right now. And the stuff with Red Dragon, Jay White is also kind of mixed in that, because that's all kind of like elite Bullet Club stuff. What I'm hoping happens is Jay White comes back to AEW and does the same thing he did with GOD. He kicks Bucks out of Bullet Club and brings in Red Dragon and Cole.
Are the Bucks technically in Bullet Club? I don't think they are right now.
I don't think they ever got a formal, like they were ever kicked out, because they
were good brothers.
Yeah, like I think Matt Rehwoldt said it, or Tom Hannafin said it. When you're kicked out of Bullet Club, it is public and it is embarrassing. So, hope that happens. Maybe Adam Page too. I don't know if he was ever kicked out. Maybe that's why Cody left AEW. Oh, you're green again.
I've gone green again.
What is happening? This is not your internet. This is something with your computer.
Nothing is wrong with my computer. What could possibly be wrong with my computer?
I don't know.
Because that only happens on Discord.
Okay. All right. Maybe Jay White kind of does something to Hangman after Revolution. Oh, I was saying maybe that's why Cody left AEW, so that he could avoid the public embarrassment by being kicked out of Bullet Club.
He's like, I'll go the one place they can't touch me. Behind the forbidden door.
And then their sleeper agent, Finn Balor, kicks him out.
You think that Finn Balor is going to kick him out when we know Finn Balor is probably going to be upstaged by him in some respect because he's going after the United States title right now?
No, Finn Balor's going after it right now.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's why he's going to be upstaged by him.
Yeah. All right, so then we get Jade Cargill versus the Bunny for the TBS Championship.
Yeah, the Bunny got a jobber entrance, which was kind of disappointing.
I like her walk out. It would have been nice to hear.
I like the Bunny.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see her more often. But, we're only allowed one women's match at a time. One women's feud at a time. Anyways. I won't be bitter. We get an elbow to the Bunny and an arm submission with the legs, and then into like some push-ups, which was like, okay. And then we get a good old armbar. Bunny ends up hanging Jade up on the top rope and ends up sending a running elbow into Jade's back. Matt Hardy ends up distracting the ref while Mark Sterling sends Jade's title to Jade. Jade ends up using it on the Bunny. Aubrey sees that this has happened, kicks both men out. And then we get a super kick after the Bunny rolls up Jade, makes me think that she's about to win the fucking title, and I was like, that's very unceremonious. Eventually, Bunny wants to go for the down the rabbit hole, but gets countered into a Jaded for Jade to win and to retain.
Yeah, I'm loving Jade's title reign because she is very much a dominant champion, and she looks great doing it. And then she asks who's next now that she's 28-0. And Ty Conti comes out. She says, "Hey Jade, I'm not just next. I'm the one who's gonna beat your ass, bitch." And she runs down, and Jade finishes her sentence and says, "At Revolution." And then they get in each other's face, yelling at each other. And then Jade just kisses Ty Conti's forehead. It was so great. And then the Bunny beats up Ty Conti. Anna Jay comes out and has a chair ready for Jade Cargill, but fight's already over. Oh, excuse me. So then we get an interview with Keith Lee. And he's asked about Ricky Starks, and he says, "Starks, I'm familiar with." Ricky Starks walks in, he says, "Here are the rules. Team Taz runs things around here. We don't care where you come from, so you better stay in your lane." And then Hobbs and Keith square up, and that's gonna be a killer battle.
Yeah.
Ricky says we're gonna save this for Revolution. Then we get Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia.
What a fucking match.
Oh yeah.
All right. We get like a little cross-legged submission on Garcia to kind of start us off. Danielson wants the label lock, but Garcia rolls out of it. Ends up getting a chop lock on Danielson, sending him flying. We then get a dragon screw to Danielson, who Garcia then like starts arguing after the dragon screw. Garcia ends up arguing with Frank Turner for God only knows what reason. It wasn't like Frank Turner stepped in the way of the move or said, "Hey, don't do that." Garcia just was like arguing with him, and I was like, he's not even the guy you're fighting right now, bud. Garcia then gets suplexed from the ring to ringside, lands on his ass, looks fucking horribly painful. Only to receive a flying knee to the face. Back in the ring, he gets hit with a shotgun dropkick. Then Danielson gets a half crab on Garcia into like a leg bar. Garcia turns that around. They just start punching each other. Then we get a tiger suplex into a cattle mutilation to Garcia. Doesn't get the pin, doesn't get the tap out. Eventually they start holding hands while elbowing each other. Then Garcia goes for an ankle dragon screw, but Danielson just stops him, stomps on his face, throws him down into a triangle sleeper to quite literally, I think, almost immediately win. The moment they said triangle sleeper, bell was ringing.
Yeah. Yep. Bryan Danielson is very dominant, and 2.0 attacks Danielson right after the match, but Mox comes out and takes care of 2.0. Daniel Garcia enters with the chair, but Danielson rips it away, and Mox gives a nice paradigm shift to Garcia. Danielson gets on the mic and he says, "So in order for us to fight together, we need to bleed together. I don't need this chair to make anybody bleed. You want a match at Revolution? You got it. But don't be disappointed if you're the only person bleeding." So, that's the episode. You want to talk about the best of the night?
Yeah, sure.
Oh well. Damn sign. Always forget.
It's always sooner or later.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about promo of the night. I don't even think we need to give any options or weigh anything. It's MJF all the way.
Yeah.
One of the best promos I've ever seen. So let's talk about Wrestler of the Night. Oh, you're green again.
Oh my fucking God. I think it's the app, honestly. I've never had this problem with...
I've never had the problem.
Girl, this is not the time to start the fan. Maybe Discord, like, fucks my computer up.
Well, you're using it in the browser. Maybe if you had the app.
I'm using it in the app, actually.
Oh. Okay.
Man.
All right, let's talk about Wrestler of the Night. So, let me see. 3 options. Kyle O'Reilly, Penta Oscuro, and Bryan Danielson.
Who was my first option?
Kyle O'Reilly.
I think it's Danielson.
I agree.
I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it, but like I guess I wanted it to be Penta, but I just felt like the Penta match there should have been more to it.
Right. All right, so let's talk about match of the night now. So, as always, we go from worst match to the best match of the night, and then we'll talk about which match is the best match of the night. And before we get into that, if you have a question for our questions segment, leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it after the best of the night. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and we'll get to it in the next one. If you're listening on Spotify, join us at the live show, twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast, to chat with us live. Love to chat with you. All right, so worst match of the night. With a 3 out of 10, Ricky Starks versus Preston Vance. Not only was I disappointed that Ricky won, because I wanted that beef, but it was such an underwhelming win because Preston laid on so much offense, and then it just ended with a spear. I feel like they could have done so much more. Maybe they were supposed to, but they were strapped for time.
That's possible. I mean, the MJF promo did go quite long. The tag match also probably was like, you know, that's probably a hard one to, I don't know, what's the word? Like, plan for.
Yeah. So next up with a 5 out of 10, Jade Cargill versus the Bunny. Some cool stuff in there. Pretty decent. Next up, 6 out of 10, Kings of the Black Throne versus Pac and Penta. Really fun match. Gave us a couple cool things, like Penta Oscuro and Buddy Matthews. Next up, with a 6 out of 10, the Tag Team Battle Royale. That was a lot of fun, especially towards the end when it was one member from each of the final tag teams. And then my pick for match of the night with the 7 out of 10, Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia. You agree?
I concur. Concur.
All right. So to run it back, promo of the night, MJF opens up. Wrestler of the night, Bryan Danielson. Match of the night, Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia. I want to remind everyone to go to our Twitter at Pinfall Podcast to vote on what show you want us to recap and review this weekend. It's between Terminus 2, GCW's The Coldest Winter, and GCW's Welcome to the Heartbreak. So leave your vote now because the vote ends tomorrow afternoon, I think. Or tomorrow at noon, maybe. All right, and it doesn't look like we have any questions. So, Liz, would you like to close out the show?
If you joined us tonight, thank you so much. And if you join us in the future, thank you so much. Join us tomorrow. We'll be talking about Impact and a lack of Josh Alexander consistently. And maybe Jay White. I don't know. If we have to.
And we'll be doing our predictions if the show we're doing is not Terminus, because Terminus I think is happening Thursday. If it's not,
well, we might still be able to do our predictions. It depends.
Our show will definitely be happening after Terminus starts. Like the Impact.
Is there a way
post-show.
for us? Right, but we can just do our predictions before the show starts. Should it be that? Should it look like it's going in that direction? And then we'll just give our predictions during Impact's post show.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we make them before the show starts, then it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, join us for that. Join us then on Sunday for our post show for whatever show we end up watching.
Go to at Pinfall Podcast on Twitter to vote.
Yes. And then next time you see us, we'll be talking about, I'll be talking about NJPW. So.
No, next time you see us, we'll be doing our 2K20 stream.
Yes, on March 1st, which is the day of the anniversary show.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then March 2nd is the day of the first round of the New Japan Cup.
Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Follow and subscribe Our live show, if you're not already watching here, is twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. We're on YouTube and Spotify as well if you search The Pinfall Podcast. And on Twitter, we're at Pinfall Podcast. Please vote in the poll if you haven't already. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23, and we'll see you all tomorrow for Impact Wrestling. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. See you tomorrow.